Hello, my name is Jillian Owens, and today I will be talking about initiatives and referendums of Arizona. Arizona has one of the most robust systems of direct democracy in the country, allowing regular citizens to bypass lawmakers entirely to pass new laws, change the state constitution, or veto bills passed by the government. At the heart of this system are two powerful tools, the initiative and the referendum. Today, we're going to break down exactly what they are, how they work, the pros and cons of each, and why Arizona founders gave voters this massive amount of power. Let's dive in. An initiative can be thought of as a proactive tool. This is the method where voters propose entirely new laws or amend existing ones. If you want a law that the legislature refuses to pass, you gather signatures from registered voters to put it directly on the ballot for the people to vote on. A referendum can be thought of as a reactive tool. Think of it as a citizen's veto. If the state legislature passes a law that you think is terrible, a referendum allows voters to step in, gather signatures, and put that specific law on the ballot so the public can vote to approve or completely reject it. So how do these actually get created? To initiate an initiative, organizers must file the signatures they have collected with the Arizona Secretary of State office at least 4 months before the next general election. To change a statute or regular law, you need valid signatures from 10% of qualified electors. If you want to amend the Arizona Constitution itself, that jumps up to 15%. For a citizen-ordered referendum, the timeline is different. Organizers only have 90 days from the moment the legislative session adjourns sine, meaning when they pack up for the year, to gather signatures from 5% of qualified voters. To start, you have to file a statement of organization using the Secretary of State's system. If you get the signatures in time, the law is placed on the ballot and paused. When voters go to the polls, a yes vote allows the law to take effect, while a no vote officially triggers the citizen veto, killing the law entirely. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of initiatives and referendums. Initiatives. The pros. It completely defeats legislative gridlock. If lawmakers refuse to act on popular issues, initiatives re-empower the voters, ensuring direct accountability. The cons of initiatives is it can lead to flawed or rigid wording. Regular bills go through months of committee hearings, public testimony, and legal revisions. Initiatives are written by a single advocacy group. If there's a typo, a loophole, or an unintended consequence, it becomes permanent law anyway, and fixing it requires another massive statewide vote. Additionally, collecting hundreds of thousands of signatures is very costly, which can allow wealthy out-of-state special interest groups to sometimes take control of the process. And what about the referendum? The pros of a referendum is it is the ultimate emergency brake. It has a lower barrier to entry, only requiring 5% of signatures, which means grassroots citizen groups with limited budgets can successfully block a controversial law. The cons. Since the 5% threshold is low, well-organized minority factions can easily exploit the system to delay routine procedures, pass necessary state laws for political gain, or hinder operations. Plus, it causes major voter fatigue. Ballots get overcrowded with complicated fine print fiscal measures, and confused voters often just vote no simply because they don't understand the text. So why did Arizona build such an intense system? To understand that, we have to look at how these tools support the very idea of direct democracy outlined in the Arizona Constitution. Arizona didn't just give citizens the right to vote for politicians. It gave the literal power to be the legislature. If you read Article 4, Part 1, Section 1 of the Arizona Constitution, it explicitly states that while legislative authority is vested in the legislature, the people reserve the power to propose laws and amendments independent of legislature. Notice the word reserve. The Constitution establishes that law-making power originally and naturally belongs to you, the citizen. You aren't granted this right by politicians, you just choose to loan it to them, while keeping a portion of it for yourself. It cuts out the middleman entirely. This all ties back to Arizona's historical roots. When Arizona became a state in 1912, it was the absolute peak of the progressive era. Early Arizonians, led by our first governor, George W.P. Hunt, were deeply distrustful of concentrated corporate power. Back then, wealthy mining companies and railroads routinely bribed or controlled state lawmakers. The introduction of initiatives and referendums was a strategic, bold move aimed at protecting Arizona from political corruption. The founders recognized a simple truth. While it might be easy for a wealthy special interest group to buy off a handful of politicians, it is vastly more difficult to bribe the entire voting populace of a state. Direct democracy was designed to be our ultimate shield against oligarchy. Whether you view these tools as a pure form of grassroots freedom or a complicated process vulnerable to special interests, one thing is certain. In Arizona, the ultimate power rests with the voters. The next time you look at an Arizona ballot filled with propositions, remember, you aren't just choosing leaders, you are actively writing history just like the state founders intended. What do you think? Are initiatives and referendums the best way to govern, or do they make things too complicated? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.